Hey there YouTube, welcome back to another Black Powder update. A lot quicker than I thought it was going to come. Um, I have to show you today my first battalion of Marines of the Guard. These guys are the second Marines, I presume. Now, in reality, these guys are actually really small units. If I just bring in the my order of battle here, you can see that the two Marine companies, or I think they're probably classed as battalions because companies in this book are normally marked with a CO. So we have two small battalions. They're not even marked properly, but I presume they're called 1st and 2nd Marines. And the one that I did today is the 2nd Marines, led by Captain Pro. And you can see that in reality these guys are only 107 men strong. Now, I like to try and keep my battalions kind of uniformed. So what I've done is I ordered this battalion from Warlord in a sort of a battalion deal. Now, they're 18 men strong, so I presume they probably were both of those Marines put together into just one. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this 18-man unit times 2 for the 1st and 2nd Marines. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know. But I'm going to just bend history a little bit and just say, well, they're two quite small units of Marines. And then, if you really do want to go historical, then I suppose you could cut it down to like 2 or 3 bases. But I like the idea of having just a small. These would count as sort of like a small unit, so I'd give them like the 2 dice. But according to the supplement, the Black Powder supplement, these guys are they seem to be sort of classed as sort of almost like assault engineers. You can kind of pay a few extra points and get them classed as a type of engineer. And of course, this particular battalion is very much in a sort of an attack pose, with all of them bristling with not only their muskets with their bayonets on, but also a lot of them have actually got their sabres out, and the officer has actually got a boarding axe. So let's give you a close look at these guys. So these guys, like I say, are the 2nd Marine. They're going to be the 2nd Marines. Like I say in the book, there's no actual definition, but on the flag it does say like 1st Battalion, so I presume that they were a 1st and 2nd Battalion. So here we have 3 of the normal foot troops, the normal Marines. These guys are in campaign uniform. Now, I'm not 100% sure if these guys are correct for 1815. I know they're okay for 1810, 1811-ish. But I'd imagine they probably didn't change that much. They're predominantly blue. They have yellow sort of markings on their cuffs and their collars. Now, whether that yellow is actually a sort of like more goldy colour, I wasn't 100% sure. But I didn't want to use metallic, so I went for a yellow. And same on their shakos. Now these guys are really cool. They also have black strapping, and they have an eagle over an anchor on their cartridge box, and they also have a little anchor on their webbing or their strapping, and they also have an eagle on top of an anchor for their shako badges as well. Now the cool thing about these guys is that not only were these guys all armed with actual sabres, full-sized sabres, and not sobriquets, but they're also actually issued the guard pattern muskets as well. And the way that you can tell a guard pattern musket over a normal trooper's musket is that the guard pattern musket had a lot of more brass on its fittings. So that is the rear company, or rear from this side, rear left side, or I suppose you could say port if it's nautical. So here we have the middle company, rear middle. Again, all in attack positions, advancing. This guy's sort of getting ready to club somebody with the butt of his musket. You've all got these full-sized sort of cutlass sabres. The third rear, and you can see that these guys have got a bugler attached, and you can see that this guy's actually in the campaign, the dress uniform of the musician, which is in a kind of a medium blue, and it's got red facings and red lacing. Really nice uniform, and all sorts of nice red accents all over his uniform, really. And another one of those attacking with his rifle butt type guys, and one guy advancing. Yeah, really happy with how these guys turned out, and like I say, I really did enjoy doing them, which is why I decided to do a second a little second mini battalion of them, similar to this, like 18 man. So next up we'll go for the front, which is normally a musician stand. So we have the drummer, and again you can see the drummer. Even the drummer is attacking. He's got a sabre out, and you can see the drummer is actually in his campaign dress. So it's the same colour, but just without all the lacing. And the drum is actually gold and blue rather than yellow and blue, which I think is quite cool. And we have this nice piece of big rock that they're sort of charging towards. Maybe it's like a broken down defence or a broken down wall. And yeah, there's a guy aiming to take a shot as well, give him some cover. Then we'll go for the NCO stand. These guys have got the Porto Fanion, and I actually free-handed this Porto Fanion because it was like a set cast flag. I was really chuffed with how it turned out, actually. I mean, it may not be the best drawn anchor ever, but I think it certainly does the job. And there's two little eagles either side. And again, we've got a guy thrusting with his musket, the sergeant charging with his sabre, or his cutlass, and his rifle or his musket shouldered. And then of course the Porto Fanion guy carrying his flag, and I've given both those guys white gloves. And then finally, again, my favourite stand, the command stand. So on this stand we have the standard, the officer, and one trooper. And this was a standard that was already in his hand. It was cast in his hand. I was very happy that the flag fitted it. I had some trouble with the Warlord Command packs with their small little standards that you get in those. Before the days of when I actually had spare poles I could use. The flag is actually the 1804 onwards flag. I couldn't find a more modern one, but I really do like it either way. I had a good look. I looked on Flags of War, looked thoroughly through GMB. Couldn't find any indication of a late Marine flag. But I think it looks great, and I really do like the flag as well. As you can see, it's got the anchor in either corner there, and the anchor over the eagle there. and the officer. Rank of captain, this particular guy. Captain, what's his name? Captain Perot. And you can see he's got a boarding axe and a sabre. And apparently every man also had at least one pistol as well, according to my Imperial Guard book. You can see he's got this nice lacing on his shoulder. He's got this white sort of bib showing underneath his blue uniform, and again the black strapping, and so a black belt just for his sabre. And he's got his long coat on, and of course the senior sergeant for the standard. Yeah, really happy with the way they all look in the end. So that is the end of my look at my Marines of the Guard. They took me about 5 days, I think, to paint, from start to finish. They were quite fiddly. They would take, I was painting from say 10 o'clock until sort of 4:30ish, 5 o'clock, every day, stopping for lunch for between half an hour to an hour, and I was basically finishing 6 guys in just over one session, so a session in a couple of hours, and that kind of echoed on right the way through the sort of 5 days. Obviously there's only 2 groups of 6, so after I'd done the first 12, I then had a 4 and a 2, which seemed to go a lot faster, because obviously the command figures, I guess, even the drummer and the bugler, which you would have thought have slowed me down, didn't. For some reason, I actually painted them probably quicker than like a normal Marine, because they are quite fiddly. You have to, paint on the uniform, paint on the black, and then you got to work the blue up so that the black kind of shows, and then you got to highlight the black quite well so that it doesn't just sort of settle in with the dark blue. And they're a little bit fiddly to paint, but I did really enjoy doing them, and I think they turned out really cool in the end. I'm really happy that I decided to get another battalion of them, so I could have 2. Now obviously these guys are going to be kind of guest units, they're not going to have any sort of command structure, because they're attached to the headquarters. But yeah, that's the Marines of the Guard. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you next time. I'll probably be doing like a troop review video quite soon. I had an order from Front Rank come in today, and I'll probably just wait for my Marines to come in from Perry's, and I'll probably do like a troop review video. I've also actually just ordered my first British Infantry for the start of my Guards division as well, because like I say, I like to get things ahead of myself, and I'm really getting quite close to finishing my Guards division now. I'm still waiting for my gun. I think it's getting on for 3 weeks now, and they still haven't had them in, which is pretty slow. But hopefully, surely it can't be that difficult to get hold of something from Warlord Games. It's not as if it's hard to get hold of or whatever. So anyway, I'll call that a day, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye bye.